Money is simple. We make it complicated, but it's actually simple, right? Save 20% of everything you get, right? 10 to 20% off top automatically, and live off the rest. If you do those basic essentials, you're gonna be okay. Now, the more advanced stuff, you're gonna learn more. You're gonna do a little bit better off. But if you just do those basic things, no matter what, you're gonna be okay. You're not gonna be great. So the key is when your granddaughter or your grandson or somebody in the neighborhood, bring that little knucklehead hand. I see you working at McDonald's now.
Right.
Start putting 10% away right now, right?
Yes.
So the only way that we're really gonna change it, we have to start at the little ones.
Yes.
Yes.
We have to break that cycle.
That's the only way that we're gonna
Well,
break
you
it.
know, because and that's real interesting too, because and I want one last tip, and I really appreciate you guys. I'm so sorry more people aren't here. But my grandson, who is working now, and he's saving for a car. So he says, Granny, I was like, well, Jabari, you're gonna have to come up with some money for so and so and so and so. And I was like, I know you're saving for a car. He said, Granny, when I save it for a car, he said, that's no-go money. I was like, that's a lesson Granny needs. And that's what I told him. I said, I go into my no-go. But he told me, he said, no, once you save it, I don't touch that. So I said, okay. So that's what I'm going to do. And my granddaughter, who is now at Howard, thank goodness, and she worked first. And I was like, oh, please go to school, go back to school. So now she's working. I mean, she's in school. But her thing was she was such a shopaholic. I said, Chanel, and I have good advice. I just need to follow it myself. I said, you have to save the money when you're making it, because that's what my mother, Ashe, said. My mother said you have to save the money while you're making it. And I didn't do that. So my one thing today is do this and stick to it. Yes?
Yes. Yeah.
So 50% of black men in Oakland are unemployed right now. And at that point, the conversation around savings and 10% to the to your future, is that a structural issue, or is that just something that's their fault?
It's
Combination of both.
It's internal and external factors, right? Because I looked at how my parents grew up. You know, they were poor, but education was always the savior, right? If you go get educated, you can improve your current situation. But you had to personally make a choice that you were going to believe what they were telling you and act on it. Because we get all this information that we know we should do this. This is not the first time you've heard of taxes, income.
Right.
You gave me these four.
Right.
Basic stuff. And we know we all got issues here. I still got issues.
Right.
But the thing was, hold on, John, I'm going to give that to you. So here's the thing, right? With the educational thing, it was, even if, here's our issue. Some people didn't have a great education, but they said, you know what, kids, I'm going to keep drilling into your head that you're going to go to college. And then their kids went to school and became a professional of some sort, and the family kept doing well. Because I think a lot of us, the issue is we're so afraid of this conversation that we don't want to look like a kid talking to our kids about some adult business here. So we don't tell them. We say, you know what, I hope they go to a workshop. I hope one of their friends tell them, because I don't even know, and I'm the parent. So we've almost got to get out of our own way and say, you know what, I may not have this stuff down pat, but I met this brother Jasper today and he moved me. And I want to share this with you. So similar to Jason's idea, my father sat me down with his financial planner when I graduated. That was my graduation gift. I had the college money. He put in another $5,000 with this advisor. I met her right after I graduated. That was my graduation gift. And I still blew it because I'm a kid. I was like, man, what you talking about, old man? I know it. I'm about to go out here and live it up. And so my dad, I called my dad and told him he knows all my issues. Now my mom, I didn't tell her I blew that college account till like last year, and she like, you did what? I was like, it was my money. My name was on the account, right? So my dad said, yeah, this is gonna be one of those life lessons he's got to learn. I'm not gonna tell him he's screwing up because you have got to grow up. You are a grown man with an education. And you made the choice. Because the external environment said, oh, Jasper, you can come out of college and kill it. I didn't have any debt when I left college. I got debt. Oh my God, what happened to Jasper? Living it up. I'm the living testament of having all those positive things, and I still screwed it up. Because I didn't take the information seriously. I mean, his FA is, I still talk to him now. He's one of my mentors. He's like, you know what, man, just keep doing what you're doing because the stuff that you're preaching is going to help all of us. And I still so we buy a round for the whole bar. Shouts to everybody. Yeah, let's turn it up. I got my credit card.
I want my grandson here.
Well, that's being human.
It is.
Right.
And you have I'm human.
Right.
But I have a framework. So now once I built the framework, I was like, all right, dude. Now, yeah, you can't do that anymore. You gotta cut it out. If you want to get a little further, you might want to scale it back just a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to speak to more about what he said about 50% of African Americans not having jobs, and that's true. That is true. When you go back to our history, a lot of us, unemployment has been an issue.
Day one.
From day one.
Day one.
All right. So you won't let me work for you. All right. You won't let me make an income, but I am an individual.
Yes.
I have choices. I'm my own enterprise. So as an African American male, you got a brain that God gave you. Why is it that you can't be enterprising to make your own money?
That's what we forgot as a community a lot.
There it is.
There it is right there. Because you can get all, just like at Jasper said, you can get all of this support. It has to come from here. You got to want to be able to do something to better yourself.
Yes.
I had fun though.
You got to want to do that. It's okay.
Right.
It's okay to have fun. But I went to school with kids in the same neighborhood. I came out of a tough neighborhood. Every last one went to the same public. Every last one of us had the same opportunity. How many of us took it to the next level?
Right.
I can count the on my hand, right?
On the hand.
And guess what? The ones that didn't do what was given to them, they were like envious and jealous because I took advantage of them.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
But what my point is, you can solve that problem. I see people out on the street sometimes in San Francisco selling stuff or whatever, or a person got their hand out. I'm very partial to the person that has a lipstick or something to sell instead of ask to give.
Right.
It's a matter of choice.
Yeah, I totally agree with that because I'm an East Oakland kid, 73rd Hamilton. I'm a 70s kid. I'm from the 70s, but there's a couple things why you're unemployment. One thing is look at our high school dropout rate, right?
Well,
So you can't just nobody's going, especially when I love economy. I could be an economist a little bit, study enough. But when you're getting a more advanced society, which we are, in a more modernized society, you always have to have higher education. And with us having such an unemployment rate, of course, you're not going to have a job. And so until we have our kids going to get higher education, not going to have a job. Everything is getting more streamlined and modernized for the minimum job. And we never, as a community, we lost behind when, Durant Square, people forget Durant Square used to be, 4 or GM back in the day? So, as African American blacks, we thought that was the thing. We just go to high school, go there. But we never retooled or retrained ourselves for a better education, for we start having our own businesses again, which we forgot because of integration. So until we get back into believing in higher education and building up our own businesses community, don't think it's a systematic thing. It's our own fault for what a lot of things are, right? Cats, nobody's going to council to help out their football players when they have enough players to play football right now. Half the games they couldn't play because kids didn't get the grades. So don't blame anybody in the community besides ourselves for not going back and retooling our own selves and our own group. And that's how I feel about everything.
yes.
So I know in Nazi Germany, when it expanded, Hitler came to power. There's only 28% unemployment rate among the men, and they said we're not taking it. We're going to overturn your government because there's 28% unemployment rate, and they were not as technically advanced as our kids coming out of high school now. So you have a situation where whole countries are overturned once the unemployment rate goes over a certain rate. So this is a serious matter. I don't care if you can't add 1 and 1. I think you have a right to decent housing, income, so on and so forth. And if your school, which is based on economics, I have my kids up in the hills where we're giving $7,000 per child per year versus down in the flats where they're giving $3,000 per child per year. and the outcomes are predictable.
But you know what though? Back in the day, your mama didn't have that much when she went to school and got an education.
Well-
my family's from the South, so I remember that. Back in the day, you still learned with the book, and they still made it for happy. I think as a community, we need to stop making excuses. Yeah, they might have something better, but as a community, we always figure out a way to make it happen. People forget, Oakland had his own black business district back in the day in West Oakland, North Oakland. We don't have that no more. Why? Because we can go back to our own shopping. We used to we got excited when Sears and Macy's used to allow us to go shopping besides on Thursday when it was Black Thursdays, right? We can went shopping 7 days a week. So we cannot necessarily blame all this dollar this, because I remember my family's from Louisiana before Oakland. And my dad was born in 1930, first year of the Great Depression. So don't get confused, I'm young, right? Daddy had me at 53. Right? He only went to third grade, but he came out to Oakland and started his own janitorial business, him and his brothers, and he did quite well. We have to get back to the central, and he educated himself, right? And he couldn't finish school. His family was during the Great Depression, had to take care of his mama. My grandfather died from the Klan. So we have to get back to the centrals. Don't worry about what everybody else have. Take care of our own community, because we have so many things in our own community to fix up and have information and resources that we as a group are not taking advantage of. Today, we go out there right now, we got some knuckleheads on the corner who should be in here, but on the knuckle is doing whatever.
Yes.
Right? So you cannot blame society when we already know the rules of the game.
Yes.
I understand the 80s when we didn't know about crack was illegal and we started telling everybody to go to jail, but now it's been 25 years. We already know what's legal and not legal no more. So, you know, you need to step your game up, understand the game and concept of game played. So,
To re-emphasize what the brother is saying, using some words from good old Rush Limbaugh. In the U.S. Constitution, there's nothing there that says you're guaranteed a job. I'm sorry. It is not in the U.S. Constitution. Health care, it is not in the U.S. Constitution. So if we want to prosper as a people, we have to lose one word. It's called job. Job is just over broke. What we should be is entrepreneurs. That's what we should be gearing our kids toward. Not to say, Master, can you give me a job? I will come in and be good. No. We create our own entities, our own enterprises. And until we do that, stop saying what white folks is doing. I don't care what they're doing. White folks are taking care of their vested interests. The word went out to a number of people in our community about this meeting. Look in this room. I don't think any white folks went to these doors and said, I don't want you going to that meeting. I don't want you going to that meeting. Right. We made a choice to stay home instead of coming here.
To get information.
Yeah,
to get information.
To empower ourselves.
You know, it's funny too. And on that point, you know, I know for my generation, we always think about we have all this time, and that was kind of my initial thoughts about, you know what, I'm not 30, I don't have a family, I don't need to worry about any of this stuff. So that's when I had my epiphany where I was like, you know what, I need to have all this stuff together before I have a family, because that I've actually personally seen clients whose families are adversely affected by them not having this basic stuff down.
Basic.
You know, it's scary to know that you're going to work every day and earning all this money, but you're not really taking the real steps to make sure your family's protected, make sure your family's going to be able to have enough money to support themselves, to make sure that if you are not here tomorrow, your family won't miss a beat. You know, I think there are a lot of things that we need to make sure we're taking care of, but we don't. And for whatever reason, like, it's a choice. Because, so to your point, it's society. Because they've trained us in programs to think we need all these things and do all these certain things, but then it's that internal choice of deciding of, well, how do I want to live my life?
Yes.
And that's what, for me, it was, you know what, I can't keep trying to be cool, because I think it's cool to have a lot of money in your bank account. Mm-hmm. But we always have these jokes about, well, I just got the rent paid late again. Ha ha, funny, right? Yeah, it's not.
No, it isn't.
But we've almost glorified all of our shortcomings. And now because it's been ingrained in us for so long, we believe it. It's okay for me to have late payments. It's okay for me to wait 10 years. So the other handout, that waiting thing, you're only hurting yourself. The coolest thing in the world is compound interest. So the cost of waiting just shows you a brief example of, what was it, Alice and Bob. You know, there are a million of these on the internet. Yep. Basic.
and it's nothing cooler when you get a stock buyback. I love that.
Yes, ma'am.
I have one question. This one on
Oh, that's
25th.
Oh, yeah.
No fee?
No, it's $20 entry. It's at San Francisco. We have that's our signature event that we host. It's the Economic Summit. So we have senior level professionals above doing a panel talking about jobs, where entrepreneurs need to be thinking about in terms of accessing capital, because that's always an issue for our businesses. A networking piece. So as you said, there are going to be other community folks, organizations represented there. So we really try to spread it out. Hey, come into San Francisco. It's a Friday night. You can't say you got to leave early for work tomorrow unless you have to work on Saturday. But really trying to create these environments to where we can really have these conversations and it be natural.
It's a very high percentage of families. I mean, not just African Americans, but a great many African Americans. Families are broken up, husband and wives, because you know why? The basic understanding of money, the basic understanding of budget. Someone does this in the household and it affects the money this way or whatever. So that's another reason why it's real critical to get educated about how money works, because a family that knows how money works or whatever, they stay together. It's less of a factor of breaking up. If you drill down into it, most times it's a money situation, and instead of looking at how to make it work, we look at how not to. Just by overlooking it.
And to this point, the biggest fear for retirees, since y'all mentioned that, biggest fear is running out of money. You're not even afraid of dying, because you know it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But you're afraid of running out of money. More afraid of running out of money than dying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why not get it together? Let's really sit down. Let's take some time. We gotta think about this thing. But until you decide to take that step to change, it's not. And you'll forever be in that cycle. And if you don't get out of that cycle, or you don't share this information with somebody else, then that next generation, same cycle. Next generation, same cycle. There's no secret that I'm a second generation. I'm gonna kill it, because my dad said I expect you to do way better than me. He told it to my older brother and my older sister. So my brother, I'm gonna be an uncle soon this year. So I thought about, this kid is about to be loaded. I'm setting up a 529 for college. My sister-in-law's father, he's also a physician. So you think about how we're gonna breed this whole legacy of Smiths. The Smiths are about to kill it.
Right.
Because we finally got our act together. All right, here we go. We had a generation do it. All right, we're going to do it one better than y'all did. Okay, we're going to do it two better than you did. And then before you know, you have these legacies where we're just not going to have certain struggles. But if you make the choice to act up like I did in my early 20s, then we're going to have a few people fall off the wagon. And maybe there'll be some support for them. And maybe it won't. Because it's hard because they're your family. You want to help them. They're the worst ones. I love you, but...
You're transferring wealth too.
Right.
And that's something that has eluded our community. Is this transferring of wealth.
Yes.
I mean, we look at all these things, like these businesses that flourish year in and year out. I look at it, there's a Chinatown in every major metropolitan city. Chinatown. Maybe we should start hanging out with Asians. Hey, what did you do? Maybe that's just a simple, walk into their shop and be like, hey.
They're not gonna tell you.
True.
Keep it in house for themselves.
But go ahead.
Can you speak a little bit on I know we'll probably ask
It's okay, the recovery piece.
Financial recovery.
Ask for help. That's all I want to say about that. If you in this area, you gotta ask for help. There are plenty of services out there, or you know a friend that can help. There are services. We've all had issues. It's just if you don't tell somebody, nobody's gonna be able to help you, and we can't direct you. But there are plenty of services that can help you with financial recovery. But if you don't ask for that rope, nobody gonna throw it to you, because nobody knows. That's all I want to say about the financial recovery piece, is that it's gonna take some time. Don't expect to be out of it overnight. It could take years, but you have to train your mind to say, you know what? Hey, I'm gonna be out of this hole in maybe 6. No, you know what? I'm gonna give myself checkpoints. I need to be making progress. I say every 3 months. Months you might get lucky, right? But I say you take it on a quarterly basis if you're trying to do this recovery thing. All right, so where are the services that I need to tap into via the government or nonprofit organizations? Okay, great. Got that on my hand. All right, so now who is holding me accountable? Do I have a financial coach? Are one of these services providing that type of structure? Is it debt consolidation? Is it, credit updates and things like that? Okay, so all right, so Okay, I got all those done initially. Now we're at 3 months. Let's look back. Ooh, all right. I did terrible in the first 2, so let's try to. I did great in one area, so let's look at 3 months again and say, all right, cool. Okay, we're making progress. This stuff doesn't happen overnight. Don't expect it to. It takes years for people to build wealth. It's called making that slow money, right? Unless you win the lottery. But think about people who win the lottery, they go bankrupt within the next 2 years.
Exactly.
They didn't learn this.
Right.
So everybody says, I want to be
one. I mean, broken up families, all kinds of
mindset,
stuff.
right? I want to be rich. You don't know how to act rich. You don't know how to act.
Been there, done that.
Right.
Had a fiance, had a job, we had money. Didn't know what to do with it.
Right.
So we lost it.
Yeah.
But I really want to bring, because my grandchildren cannot do this, because they are so funny. I keep saying, I can't pay your $250 cell bill because I don't work anymore. They don't hear that. They don't understand. But granted, you've always done it. Of course you can. I'm like, no. So I want to know the next free
That's
workshop.
right, because you have $250 go to your long-term care.
Yeah, this is $60 for all 3 of us to come, and my granddaughter should be here for summer. So where's the next free one?
For the students is free. So we do 25 students for free. And here's the only reason too that we charge for this event, because we got high profile people in the audience. And I also challenge, with paying for stuff, because if I was throwing a party tonight at, I don't know, pick a posh spot in Oakland or San Francisco, you would pay $150 to go to this party. You get dolled up, your nails done. I'm asking for $20 for you to be with people who can actually help you become wealthy. We got our priorities messed up. And that's the only reason that I say, I used to be a little nervous about saying that, but I speak with conviction now. You know what? It's gonna cost you because you're not doing what's right. So you want me to give you another freebie? Another? All right, I'm gonna give you a little rain check this time and let you in for the low ski. No. Pay for it, because I guarantee you, by the time you leave that event, you will have gotten your money's worth and then some. Because if you come to an event like this, I have this motto when I go to an event. I have 3 objectives. I don't care how classy or unclassy the event is. 3 objectives. I'm looking for a potential business. I'm looking for somebody to help me assist with my nonprofit efforts. So maybe you have an affinity for nonprofits. And I'm looking for friends. I love to kick it, because I'm a young single man. So I'm trying 3 objectives, and I usually conquer those 3 within the first hour of attending any event. So that's my reason. That's why we charge for these type of events. But these workshops, these are always free. Education chairperson right there. So if you say, hey George, I want to do this every month, every quarter, get the people here, because this ain't gonna work. I only touched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And they're probably, if all of you just brought 1 person, we doubled the room. Ooh, I didn't tell you to bring 1,000 people. Bring 1 friend with you next time. That's all we ask when I do these free workshops. Bring friends. We're gonna get some good stuff. And I don't want you to miss out. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I think the promotion angle on this one was a little subdued, if you will.
Yeah.
So the idea is that I don't think it's an issue for us to have 40 people downstairs at all. Yeah, it's not an issue for us. But like I said, we had some technical issues this
I understand.
But I was gonna say something else. Oh, and like you said, I really appreciate the do for self angle. But I just reiterate, when the people finally got the Works Project Authority passed in the 40s, the United States didn't have the unemployment rate we have now in terms of African American men. So the white boys are saying, we don't have money for our wives and our family. There are no jobs out here, and we need, we're tired of going through garbage and all this kind of stuff and stealing from our brothers and sisters. We need work, and the United States created work for those white boys whose unemployment rate was never as high as it is as African Americans across the United States. That's all I want to say.
And I kind of concur with he's saying. I have 3 girlfriends that we all went to elementary all the way up, and we talk about our grandchildren and the children of today. We all had 2-parent homes. I had 2 parents. Our children today don't necessarily have that. Right. So there's some problems, and my grandchildren, but the family ties that we've been talking about were there. Because my grandchildren are always said, you have to go to school, you have to do it. And I have these strong grandchildren, a Taurus, a Virgo, just know it all, got it all. But this to hear from somebody other than Granny, because their mom, she don't got it. She don't got it.
Yeah.
But to hear it from somebody else, and see my grandson, the Virgo, oh yeah, if you can break it down for him, he does it. He's excellent with math. And when he can tell me he can't go into his no-go money, then he ought to know how to do it. And my granddaughter has $10,000 in school debt now. And she was like, Granny, I already have $10,000. I don't want this. So I need, some help with her. So she needs to be able to find out how not to graduate. You had a wonderful college experience. Everything was paid for. But I am so grateful to have 3 of you here, with all this different information. And I promise you, how do I sign up early for the 2 students?
So just there's a promotional code. I'll give it to you before we leave.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Because and they will come because they're into money, but it's been my money.
It'll be an eye opener, and I kind of look at how.
Yes, it's been mine.
When you made a valid point. This is why I do this work, because they're tired of hearing the old people tell them what to do. I was a kid. I'm not listening to you.
Yeah.
Let me see somebody that's close to my age that I can kind of relate to. I love hip hop music. I just know it's a place and time for me to act reckless.
And see, you 2 single, handsome black men give me hope for my granddaughter. I look at my granddaughter and I was like, who is she going to be able to marry? Who is she going to be able to marry?
That guy.
I was like,
I got issues.
I'm scarred.
but my granddaughter, I'm like, when this child finishes, and she had a discussion, and I don't mean to get off, but just how these young people do. She had a discussion with 2 of her very best friends, and she said, if he doesn't have a car to take me out, then maybe we won't go out. And he should be able to pay for the dinner. And her girlfriends were saying, and I was like, ooh, Chanel, you got a little too much of your granny. I was like, there are times you can catch the bus someplace. But her girlfriends were saying to her, you have to split everything. And she was like, I don't think so. And they were telling her, you should do half and half.
Those girlfriends are talking, right? I like
she
that.
grew up from Granny, who said the man should be. But in this day and time, things are different.
That's a
but
things are
different. But who is she going to be able to marry?
But because guys, we train our guys
to want half.
Well, to ask the question.
Yeah, I asked.
Each side, the woman and the male.
The male.
There's certain questions that you have to ask with people before you decide to, you're gonna be.
Just
because if it's your idea to go out all the time, and I didn't want to go out, you better be paying.
At the same
time, there's more women in school than men. Y'all better ask me.
Exactly. And so I say that to her, and she did have this one guy that she really liked, and I think he cheated on her, and she was like, no, Granny, because she caught the bus with him. And she would do things, but they went places. They did things that she wanted to do, and that's what I say to her too. Sometimes I say, Chanel, you can pay sometime, but you guys really give me hope, because I'm like, who is my baby gonna marry? I'm never gonna have grandchildren because she ain't gonna find nobody to marry.
So, are there any communities that are pressing out financial literate people on the regular? Have a funnel where you come in totally. At one level, you get moved to the next level. Are there any African-based communities in the Bay that are serious about financial literacy and who have taken it to heart and it's their passion?
Off the top of my head,
Urban Financial Services Coalition.
That's what we're trying to create, because I know it doesn't exist.
Okay.
And so when we reach out to other groups, we're trying to set up this structure because it's not a one-time deal. I mean, I try to consistently be out in the community talking, but it's just me. It's just a few.
You guys mind if we reference you on our website?
No problem.
All day, every day.
Anytime you want. I mean, I hand out information, but here's the challenge. Here's your takeaway, right? I do these all the time, and y'all hot and bothered, and y'all nice and warm and ready to go, and you're encouraged and you're inspired. When you leave here, I don't hear from you in a couple months. I'm gonna it was just lip service. They were excited for the hour and a half we were here, but that's where we fall off. So you can consider yourself informed once again, but it's just, what do you do when you leave here today?
Right.
So you will continue to see me post on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and you'll see me do another community workshop. It's not lip service. This is my path. My calling came to me at 23, and I'm focused on saving the world. And it might be just a little bit of a crumb of the world, Doggone, I'm gonna save it. And I realized that, you know, poor people, they stay poor because they hang out with poor people.
Exactly.
Wealthy people stay wealthy because they only hang out with wealthy people.
Birds of a feather.
And they buy Toyotas instead of Lexuses.
A lot of the millionaires that I know, they drive regular everyday cars and they do not dress flashy.
Exactly.
You would never know they have millions.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
That's the good.
hope you all enjoyed it.
We did.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had Glazed donuts so long. I'm like, ooh.
Oh, please have donuts.
Oh, yeah.
I said Glazed. I haven't had that.
I know,
in
Sister
years.
Tracy buys them. She says, I know nobody wants these, but I bought donuts.
And go.
You're gonna have cake
Yes, sir.
party.
Thank you so much.
Business.
Thank you so
Director
much. We
Yes.
guys here will
We wanna
say.
get these guys.
Oh, and
yeah,
you guys give me hope. You really do.
Oh, yeah.